Hello, Sebastian here. Today, given the 1 month break that we have until the next F1 race in Azerbaijan, I thought I'd take a look at the top three in the championship, both drivers and constructors, for the last 23 years. So all the way from 2000 to 2022, and look at each season at the 3 race mark and see how the leaders in both the drivers and constructors championship did at the end of the year. Did the drivers at the top of the championship stay there and go on to win the championship, or did other drivers rise to the top? So I thought this was a pretty interesting thing to look at. And so I've gone and gone and looked back through the record books to see who was leading the championship at the 3 race mark. So starting in the year 2000, so Michael Schumacher was leading the championship with 30 points after 3 races. Barrichello second with 9 points, and Fisichella with 8 points in third. So for the from this year, they were using the the top 6 drivers. So only the top 6 drivers got points. So the points breakdown was 10, 6, 4, 3, 2, and 1. 2001, using the same format, Michael Schumacher was leading the championship with 26 points. Coulthard was second with 20 points, and Barrichello was third with 10 points. So just another note on the 2000 season. So the two of the front runners, the McLarens, the reason they don't show up in the top 3 was that Häkkinen had 2 DNFs, and Coulthard had a DNF and a DSQ, so a disqualification. 2002, the last year of only the top 6 drivers getting points. Michael Schumacher was in first with 24 points, Ralf Schumacher second, his brother with 16 points, and Juan Pablo Montoya third with 14 points. So I should probably have said this at the start, but the drivers in bold, so the drivers in bold are those who stay in the top 3 in the championship at the end of the season, and those who have the gold box highlighted, or those who stay in that position. So obviously in 2000, 2001, and 2002, Michael Schumacher went on to win the championship those years. Similarly, in 2002, Montoya finished the championship in third, so he has a gold box. However, Coulthard and Barrichello, I believe switched positions. So Barrichello finished second in 2001, Coulthard finished third in 2001. So now on to 2003. So this was the year that the FIA actually changed the point system, so the top 8 drivers got points. And it went from 10, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And this was kind of in a bid to make the season more competitive and to try to hurt Ferrari and Schumacher. So surprisingly, if you did not watch the season, Raikkonen was leading after 3 races with 24 points, Coulthard third with 15 points, and Alonso third with 14 points. Of course, Brazil, the infamous Brazil 2003 Brazilian Grand Prix, was the 3rd race of the season, and this included a double DNF for Ferrari, which is why they did not appear in the top 3. 2004, Michael Schumacher leads the championship after 3 races with 30 points, Barrichello second with 21 points, and Button third with 15 points. 2005, obviously infamous rule change as well, intended to hurt Ferrari. Alonso first with 26 points, Trulli second with 16 points, and Fisichella third with 10 points. 2006, similar story. Alonso first with 28 points, Fisichella second with 14 points, and Raikkonen third with 14 points. 2007, the season where the top 3 were all tied after the first 3 races, and it was only down to countback that we got this order. So Alonso first with 22 points, Raikkonen second also with 22 points, and rookie Lewis Hamilton with 22 points as well. 2008, Raikkonen led the championship after the first 3 races with 19 points. Heidfeld second with 16 points, and Hamilton third with 14 points. Moving into from 2009, of course, the miracle season, as well as the start of the new technical regulations. Button led the championship with 21 points, Barrichello was second with 15 points, and Sebastian Vettel was third with 10 points. 2010. So this is the introduction of the 25-point system. So 25 points for the winner, and it's almost identical to the one that we use now, except for the fact that there was no fastest lap point. So that's why you'll see a massive jump up in the points totals after 3 races from this year on. So first in the championship after 3 races, Felipe Massa, 39 points. Second, his then teammate Fernando Alonso with 37 points. And third, basically tied with second, but third on countback, was eventual champion Sebastian Vettel with 37 points. 2011, Sebastian Vettel led the championship with 68 points, Hamilton second with 47 points, and Button third with 38 points. 2012, Hamilton led the championship with 45 points, Button second with 43 points, and Alonso third with 37 points. 2013, Vettel led the championship with 52 points, Raikkonen second with 49 points, and Alonso third with 43 points. 2014, the start of the turbo hybrid era. Nico Rosberg led the championship with 61 points, Hamilton second with 50 points, and no, that is not a typo, that is Nico Hülkenberg, third in the championship with 28 points. There had been a lot of issues for basically Red Bull, who eventually finished second in the championship that year, with lots of engine problems with the start of the turbo hybrid era, Williams also not being particularly fast at the start of the season, and Ferrari were well Ferrari. 2015, Hamilton led the championship, 68 points, Vettel second, 55 points, and Rosberg third, 51 points. 2016, Rosberg first, 75 points, the only person in the 25-point system era to win the first 3 races of the championship, thus having a perfect 75 points. Hamilton second with 39 points, and Ricciardo third with 36 points. 2017, Vettel 68 points, led the championship. At that point, Hamilton second, 61 points, and Bottas third, 38 points. 2018, Vettel again led the championship, 54 points, Hamilton second, 45 points, and Bottas third with 40 points. 2019 was the year that the fastest lap point was introduced, so the maximum number of points was raised from 75 to 78 after 3 races. So 2019, Hamilton led the championship with 68 points, Bottas second with 62 points, and Verstappen was third with 39 points. 2020, Hamilton first, 63 points, Bottas second, 58 points, and Verstappen third, 33 points. 2021, Hamilton first, 69 points, Verstappen second, 61 points, and Norris third, 37 points. It's obviously very easy to forget that season 2021, Norris had an absolutely fantastic start of the season. And there were some people asking maybe until about halfway through the season whether there was actually a real possibility that Norris could actually finish third in the championship in a McLaren, ahead of the number 2 drivers for both Mercedes and Red Bull. 2022, the start of the ground effect era. Leclerc led the championship with 71 points, Russell second with 37 points, and Sainz third with 33 points. Obviously no Red Bulls. Verstappen had 2 DNFs to start the season, and Perez had 1 DNF. 2023, Verstappen led the season, leading so far with 69 points, Perez second with 54 points, and Alonso third with 45 points. So a couple of things I want to note. So from all those years, from 2000 all the way up till 2023, there are only, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers who have not, no, that's not, that can't be right. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, 10 drivers who have leading the championship after the first 3 rounds do not win the championship. And of those, only 2 of those do not even finish in the top 3 in the championship. And those were Massa in 2010 and Hamilton in 2012. Also, in the modern 25-point system, the highest number of points to be leading the championship by and not winning the championship were Leclerc last year with 71 points. So not great look by Ferrari there. So now when we take all that data together and we look at it as a group, for the drivers who are first place after 3 rounds in the championship, 21 of them have finished in the top 3, so 91%. For those second in the championship after 3 rounds, 13 have finished in the top 3, 57%. For third in the championship after 3 races, 15 drivers went on to finish third in the championship, so 65%. So you notice the number for third place is a little higher than second place. That's probably down to a slightly small sample size. If I did this for all the seasons in F1 history, it probably would have been lower than that for second place. Now, when we look at if they finished in that position, for first in the championship, for those who go on to win the championship, it's only 13, 57%. Second, 5 drivers finished in second, go on to finish second, and finished, so that's 22%. Drivers in third place, only 6 went on to finish third in the championship, 26%. So that's the Drivers' Championships. Now I want to take a look at the Constructors' Championship. So for the Constructors' Championship, for 2000, and of course this will have all of the same caveats. So all of the caveats I said about drivers DNFing within those first 3 races, all of those same caveats will probably apply now. So 2000, Ferrari were first in the championship, 39 points, McLaren second with 10 points, and Benetton third in the championship, 8 points. And of course the same scheme applies, so those teams in bold finished in the top 3, and those highlighted finished in that position in that year. So 2001, Ferrari led the championship after 3 races, 36 points, McLaren second with 21 points, and Sauber third with 8 points. 2002, Williams actually led the championship with 30 points, Ferrari second with 24 points, and McLaren third with 8 points. 2003, McLaren led the championship with 39 points, Renault second with 23 points, and Ferrari third with 16 points. 2004, Ferrari led the championship with 51 points, which is the highest of any season on the board up to that point, showing exactly how dominant they were in 2004. Renault second with 22 points, and Williams third with 19. 2005, Renault led the championship with 36 points, Toyota second with 25 points, and McLaren third with 19 points. 2006, Renault led the championship with 42 points, McLaren second with 23 points, and Ferrari third with 15 points. Now to 2007. So of course, this was, for those of you who don't know, McLaren were excluded from the championship that year. So they were basically not in the championship. So I've put a asterisk. I've kept them in, their point total as leading the championship. So if they had not been excluded, they would have won the Constructors. And for the purpose of this exercise, which is to look at more about performance, less about outside things such as Spygate, I've kept them in, but I put an asterisk next to them just to note that I do know that Spygate happened and that they were excluded from the championship that year. So 3 races in, they led the championship with 44 points, Ferrari second with 39 points, and BMW third with 18 points. 2008, BMW actually led the championship that year, 30 points after 3 races, Ferrari second with 29 points, and McLaren third with 28 points. So extremely close. Of course, BMW infamously decided to basically stop developing that year's car in favor of the new cars, the new era of cars that were coming in the following year, and they failed those too. So many fans, if you ask them, they'll say BMW should have kept developing that year's car, and it really, it basically ruined any Robert Kubica's really only real chance to compete for a world championship. 2009, the Braun Miracle led the championship with 36 points after 3 races, Red Bull second with 19.5 points, and Toyota third with 18.5 points. So you're maybe wondering why there is half points for that season. So the 2009 Malaysian Grand Prix, the second race of the year, didn't make it to half distance because of torrential rain, monsoons basically. So half points were awarded at that race, which is why you see the half point totals for both Red Bull and Toyota. 2010, Ferrari led the championship with 76 points, McLaren second with 66 points, and Red Bull third with 61 points. So both extremely close year that year, 2010. 2011, Red Bull were running away with 105 points, McLaren second, 85 points, and Ferrari third with 50 points. 2012, and another extremely close season, close start to the season. McLaren led the championship with 88 points, Red Bull second, 64 points, and Ferrari third, 37 points. 2013, Red Bull first, 78 points, Ferrari second, 73 points, and Lotus actually third with 60 points. 2014, Mercedes led the championship with 111 points, and no, that's not a typo, that's Force India in second place, 44 points for them, and McLaren in third, also not a typo given how the rest of their year went, 43 points for them. 2015, Mercedes again dominant, 119 points after 3 races, Ferrari second, 79 points, and Williams third with 48 points. 2016, Mercedes third, 114 points, Mercedes first, Ferrari second, 61 points, and Red Bull third with 57 points. 2017, Ferrari led the championship after 3 races, 102 points, Mercedes second, 99 points, and Red Bull third, 47 points. 2018, Mercedes first, 85 points, second, Ferrari, 84 points, and Red Bull third, 55 points. 2019, Mercedes absolutely dominant, 130 points after 3 races, Ferrari second, 73 points, and Red Bull third, 52 points. That year was notable for Mercedes, I think, having 7, 8 1-2 finishes to start the year. Basically every race until the Austrian Grand Prix, which is the first race they lost, they got a 1-2 finish. So absolutely crazy start to the year that year. 2020, Mercedes again led, 121 points, Red Bull second, 55 points, and McLaren third, 41 points. 2021, Mercedes led, 101 points, Red Bull second, 83 points, McLaren third, 53 points. 2022, Ferrari first, 104 points, Mercedes second, 65 points, and Red Bull third, 55 points. And this year so far, after 3 races, Red Bull first, 123 points, Aston Martin second, 65 points, and Mercedes third, 56 points. So some interesting takeaways from this is that I think at least recently, teams that are in the top 3 in the championship after 3 races, barring reliability problems for another team, generally do finish top 3 in the championship. So I think it's looking really good for Aston Martin and Mercedes, both of them to finish top 3 in the championship. Another thing, so from 23 years of data, there's only 7 teams who are leading the championship after 3 races who did not go on to win the constructors. Those are Williams in 2002, McLaren in 2003, BMW in 2008, Ferrari in 2010, McLaren in 2012, Ferrari in 2017, and Ferrari in 2022. So interesting, of the 7, 3 of those are Ferrari. So 3 years that they started out very well, but for one reason or another, they did not win the championship. And of those, in the 25-point era, so from 2010, the highest point total not to win the championship was actually Ferrari last year with 104. Just showing kind of how badly things went for Ferrari last year after their great start to the season. Let's see, another interesting one. So in the 25-point era, because of course we're looking at historical data to try to gain some insights about this year, 4 teams finishing in the top 3, the highest point total for a team to finish, the highest point total after 3 races not to finish in the top 3 would be, let's see, Lotus, I think. Yes, Lotus in 2013 had 60 points. Surprisingly, Mercedes were not in the top 3 at the start of the year, given they went on to finish second in the constructors. But yeah, 60 points for Lotus, which is less than Aston Martin's 65. So they're looking really good for Aston Martin. They would be the lowest if they did not. They would be the highest point total after 3 races if they didn't finish in the top 3. So looking at all 23 years together, for the team in first place, 100% of the time they finished in the top 3 in the championship, of course barring McLaren getting excluded in the championship. Second in the championship, 20 out of 23 times they finished in the top 3, so 87%, and third, 16, so 70%. For finishing in position, so finishing in the same position after 3 races as they do at the end of the championship, for those in first place, 16 of them finished in the same position, so 70%. Second, in the championship, 11 of them, so 48%, and third, 8 teams stayed in the same position, so 35%. So I think really the big takeaways from that are that I think in general Red Bull look incredibly good. They're well above Ferrari's point total. I think barring any kind of cost cap issues or anything like that, I think they were almost certainly going to win the Constructors' Championship. For the Drivers' Championship, similar situation. I think something would really have to go wrong in terms of DNF reliability or, knock on wood, some outside factors for Verstappen not to win the championship. And for Alonso, he looks to be in very good shape to stay in third in the championship, I think. It's not guaranteed. I think, Hamilton and Russell will both have something to say about that, as well as Leclerc and Sainz and Stroll, I shouldn't forget. But for all three of those drivers, I think pretty good chance of staying in those positions, given that there was no massive reliability problems for the leaders so far this year. So that's all for this video. So just taking a historical look at the top three in the championship for both drivers and constructors over the last 23 seasons since the turn of the millennium, and seeing what we can learn from that to take away for looking at this year's 2023 F1 season. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'll be back again soon for another video. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.